Yay! This is a very, very important class because I think most of us, we're concerned with balance. We don't want to fall. Falling can be really detrimental. And it's really important, this class is really important because you can have good balance in a yoga class, but you can still fall and hurt yourself. And the main reason is because we have two types of muscle fibers. We have what's called type 1 muscle fibers, and we have type 2 muscle fibers. So here's a very quick demonstration. So type 1 muscle fibers are those, they're thinner, they're your postural muscles, they're kind of long burn, so they tend to, they're kind of endurance based. These are type 2 muscle fibers. These are thicker, they're stronger, they're for reactivity, they're for power, they're for adjusting yourself very quickly. Now, the problem is, after 25, if these fast twitch muscles are not trained, then what happens by the age of 50, these muscles become like this. They become very thin, they become a little bit haggard, they become like strings, and therefore people don't have the reactivity. But the great news is that, especially in yoga, and especially what we're going to do tonight, we're going to get these fibers back to this because they're trainable. If they weren't trainable, I wouldn't be teaching. Yeah, I wouldn't be teaching this stuff. Yeah. So remember, we've got type 1 muscle fibers. They're what's holding you now, watching me. Mostly the type 1 are active, but the type 2, we lose our balance. We need some kind of reactivity. If they are like this, no matter how good your standing tree is in a yoga class, you're going to lose your balance. So it's these fast twitch muscle fibers we're going to do a practice around tonight. So please come onto your mat, and we're going to put the chair aside for a moment. Now, as we go through this class this evening, we're going to be doing some dynamic stuff. You can do this, but please adjust it, tweak it, don't overdo it, because we're going to be moving slow and quickly. Because the only way these type 2 fibers get activated is when we move quite quickly. So first of all, let's do something you'll be familiar with. We're going to open. And the feet are pointing out. Now, if you watch me, please, I breathe in. I slowly breathe out. Sun God. I breathe in. I breathe out. I breathe. Yeah, so you want that slow down, and it's the fast coming up that lights up these type 2 fibers. Let's go. So we're here. Now breathe in. Breathe out. Slowly sink. Hold. Take a few breaths here. Now push from the legs and go. And down. Go. And down. Go. And down. Up. And down. Up. And we do about 10. Combine the breath. 2 more. Good. And have a rest, please. Hands on your lower back and make some circles. So you might have heard about these muscles, one's called slow twitch. They're the muscles now that I'm using to stand in posture. They're slow twitch, they're slow burners. Yeah, There, you're walking. Muscles, we're more in this slow twitch. But when we lose our balance, it's those fast twitch. If they're like thin, weak, you can do a great tree. You can do all the yoga postures in the world. You're going to lose your balance because those type 2 fibers are not active. They're not strong. Let's do our second position, please. Now, again, watch me first. And this is called chair. So watch me first. I inhale, exhale. Okay, we're going to do 10. So feet together. And again, please feel this out. Listen to your body. So breathe in, legs together, breathe out. Look up, chest open, breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, keep the knees together. Carry on, please. Faster you go, the more you fire them up. Let's do 2 more. 1 more. Good. Now, open. One of the things that we do all the time in my classes, we do little bouncers. Little bouncers are a great way of firing up these twitch muscles. So 1, you don't have to, I know some of you are worried about your knees. You don't have to do these kind of bouncers. Just control the movement. In fact, the more you control the coming down, the better. So you're stimulating now the calves. You're stimulating the fascia, the bones. You're reactivating those type 2 fibers. Two more. 1 more. Excellent. Now, coming to a position where your feet are hip width, hold your elbows and can you lift the arms over the top of the head? Take a few breaths here. You can feel the ground underneath your feet, and that feeling can come up and give you support. Can you take the arms back a little bit? What if you drop the head back? Now look forwards, take a little side bend to one side. Legs straight. This is going to load the bones. And legs straight. Good, and we come back. Now, just as we've talked about the muscles in the bones, we have, I'm generalizing here, but we have 2 types of cells. We have cells that eat bone, and we have cells that grow bone. The only way you stimulate the osteoblasts, the cells that build new bone, is by loading the bone. So please bring your feet together. Eyes looking at one point. Be aware of the wall either side of you. Can you even be aware of the corners behind you, the ceiling and the floor? Can you breathe? Now balance on the right leg and just lift your left foot, hover it off the floor. Keep staring at that point. And for some of you, you might want to hold it and lengthen out the leg. It's up to you. But keep the standing leg straight and the weight's falling through the inner edge. Keep your eyes steady. The leg straight. The more straight the standing leg, the more you'll load the full dimension of the bones. If we bend the knees, tends to go more into the muscles. We want the force to go into the bones. Whoops. Whoops. Focus. I'm talking to myself here. Focus, Jay. Focus. And then come down. Again, reestablish your focus. Now, some people in yoga, they just stare at one spot. It's not a good cue, because when you stare at one spot, you narrow the vestibular mechanisms. We don't want to do that. We want to open the vestibular mechanism. So your eyes are looking at one point, but you're also aware of the wall either side of you. If I was to ask you to reach your arms out, wiggle your fingers, if you can see the blur of your wiggling fingers, your balance is already improved. Now, balance on the left leg and just hover the right foot off the floor. It doesn't have to be any more than that. Of course, if you want to go a little bit higher, and every time you lose your balance, as I'm doing, your core gets more activation. So it's win-win. Isn't that great? Win-win. Can I breathe right now? Can I stand tall? And you could just imagine your bones glowing. They're being loaded in all their dimensions. And then slowly come back. Hands onto your lower back, make some circles. Now, we very often talk about the postural line or the postural chains. Calves, hamstrings, glutes, erector spinae muscles of the back. We're going to light them up right now. So you will need something to put your fingers on. So I've got a chair. You can have a table. And please don't do this. Somebody told me last week that they don't really get on with the chair practices because they're using a swivel chair. Don't use a swivel chair. Use a table, use a desk, use anything at all. It'll just take you to a higher level in embodiment. I was just looking there because I thought I heard a screw or something. Hope this, there we go. That's what I heard. Where are we going then? There we go, there. So the fingers are lightly on the chair, and just like a professional dancer, they use the bar, and they use the bar so they can really focus on great biomechanics. In yoga, we use the chair, we use straps, we use blocks, we use other props to do the same thing. So it gives us an opportunity to focus on higher embodiments. Now, as you stand, please, with your fingers on the chair, I'm assuming you're standing and the right leg is close to the chair. If it's not, don't worry about it. Now, take the left foot and start to lift it as high as you can. But I'd like you to pay attention to this hip. There should be one straight line going down here. If you're slightly like this, can you see what I'm doing here? Then that's degrading my hips. It's degrading, it's giving faulty sensory information to my vestibular mechanism. So that's why we're using a chair, so that you just focus. We're not trying to get good at making some kind of yoga gesture. Oh, aren't I good at yoga? That's got nothing to do with what we're doing here. Now, loading weight through the femur head. This is the femur head, this long bone here. And take any hand position you want to. We're going to stay here for 5 more breaths. Chest open. And your body knows how to soften, how to align, how to come back into good biomechanical harmony. And you're just remembering that openness now. Now, every arm position I make with the left arm loads different areas, different bones. Take the arm up, please. Now, there's a lot of load going through the core. And if we can take a little side bend towards the chair and really focus on a straight line and the leg being straight. Come on, we're having fun. That's right. We're not serious. We're not trying to get good at yoga poses. That's not what we're doing here. And we come back, please. Now, could you take the foot down? Now, I don't know if this is possible to hold the ankle from behind or the trouser leg. So you can hold the ankle or the trouser leg. And the chest is open. Keep the knees as close together as possible. Now, could I please push into the foot that's standing, lift the chest, looking up. It's not easy. Few breaths here, chest open. Remember, the goal here is potential. And you're never going to pull your full potential if you're trying to make a good pose. All trying to make a good pose will do. It'll make you better at doing that pose, but it doesn't do anything for your potential. So you want to wobble, you want to lose your balance, you want to be playful. And then we let that go, please. Now, let's move the chair to the other side. Stand tall, and you're focusing on, yeah, so I'm exaggerating here. This is what I sometimes see at class. Good. So make sure that these outer glutes here are really lighting up. And sometimes I get people to tap these outer glutes, standing tall. I'm looking at one point, but I'm also aware of the corners behind me. I'm aware of the ceiling and the floor. I'm opening up to the surrounding space. And my breathing is right there supporting me. Then I'm going to just bend this right leg, and that may be all I need to do. Or maybe I can take it a little bit higher. But again, if this hip starts to lose its connection, we're degrading, we're not empowering. And please don't be fooled. I can list off 10 very well-known yoga teachers that can do some amazing things on a yoga mat, but they have hip issues, knee issues, shoulder issues, all sorts of issues, because they're trying to perfect poses and they're not really listening to their own experience. This is about potential. This is not about, can I do a great tree pose? Take the arm up. Can I breathe? Feel your leg bones, hip bones being loaded in all dimensions. And when you're ready, we'll see if we can go straight into, keep the knees together. Because if the knee goes out here and you try to do, if the ego comes in, you want to do some fancy yoga pose, it's not what our intention is tonight. Chest open, breathing there. I'm aware of the wall either side of me. I can sense the corners behind me. I've got this kind of open, windowless vision. There's no frame. My breath is there. I'm feeling a lot of activity here. It's starting to ache a little bit. It's what I want. I'm playful. That's about all I can stand. You might stand a little bit more and then let that go. Oh, oh my God. Now, finally, for the chair, we're going to do some heel lifts. So we have the fingertips lightly onto the chair. And what we want to do is we want to go up fast, come down slow. If we just go up slow and we come down slow, that's okay. We're not going to fire. We're not going to make these type 2 fibers thicker. So what you do is come in, up, slowly down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Up, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Up, 1. Coming down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Faster. Up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 more. Up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 more. Up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, please take left leg back, and the right toes are on the same line as the chair. Now, what I want to do here, remember when the legs are straight, the force, the weight will go equally through all the dimensions of the bones. Again, if I get into an ego kind of mindset and want to bend the knees, and then what happens is the weight will still go in the bones, but it will be shared by the muscles, which is not quite what we want for tonight's class. Now, I'd like you, as you look down over the front foot, the weight's on the inner edge of the front foot. I'm drawing up the front leg bones. I'm pushing into the back heel. And I'm focusing on long, slow breaths. I'm drawing up the front leg. And I'm pushing into the back outer edge of the foot. And what I do, I don't know whether this works for you, but I breathe up the front leg. And I breathe down the back heel. It goes underneath the ground, and then I start again. I breathe up the front leg, and I breathe down through the back heel. So I'm creating a circuit just with my breath. Okay, let's switch. Now, as you look down at your feet, be very careful that the weight doesn't roll onto the little toe edge of the foot, because that's going to throw out your knees, it's going to throw out your hips, it's going to force, it's going to shear into incorrect places. So I'd like you, as you look down, to have the legs fairly straight. That's why we're using the chair. And you can see my back leg, if you were to push on the back of my knee, you would feel a lot of resistance there. It's like there's no knee at all. So have that feeling. And I'm going to breathe up the front leg. The bones are glowing. And I'm going to breathe down the back leg. It goes through the floor. And then I breathe up the front. 5 breaths. Shoulders relaxed. Let the breathing be supporting you. Okay, and let that go, please. Now we've finished with the chair. Hallelujah. Okay, now we're going to work those postural chains, the muscles that keep you with good posture. Yeah, my posture's got better. My posture's a lot better now than it was 30 years ago. And it's the same for you. You could be in your 70s, 80s. You do this kind of work, your posture will improve. So please lie on your belly. And as you lie here, we don't just lie haphazardly. We bring an element of focus. So as I'm lying here, I'm already lengthening out my belly. I'm reaching back through the tips of the toes. My heels are dropping out. My legs are long. My abdominal area is long. And I'm just resting my forehead on the back of the hands. And as I breathe here, I'm filling the two sides of the lower back with breath. I might even feel the back of the pelvis filling and opening and yielding, the same as the pelvic floor. And every exhalation, there's this kind of rebound in the pelvic floor. Now, please bring your hands down by your side, and your forehead is resting on the floor, if that's okay, or maybe you get a towel, we'll wait for you. Now, please listen for your body. We're going to do a couple of slow ones first. Feel where the pubic bone is. Are you on the very center of your pubic bone? Pubic bone is just below the navel. Now press the pubic bone into the floor, the very middle. There's an impetus to lift the head and the feet and the arms, and then slowly let that go. And we do that again. So breathe in and breathe out. Now I'm going to do 10, but they're going to be done with a pulse like this. Okay, so when you're ready, we're coming up on an inhalation and two more, one more. Take one knee out to the side. Oh, and relax. This is the second time I've done this class today, so if I'm making a few noises, you understand why. Now, we're going to roll over onto our back. And again, we're thinking about lighting up those posterior chain. So we stand the feet on the floor. And again, you know how to tweak, not twerk, tweak. We're looking for elegance. We're looking for symmetry. Ah. Now let's do a few slow bridges. So breathe in and breathe out. Roll the spine down so the lower back touches the floor before the tail. Wrap the hands around the knees. Okay, so that's our preparation. So what we're going to do is quite quickly. So breathe in, roll the spine down, and breathe out. Breathe in, quick. Roll the spine down, vertebra by vertebra. Make sure lower back touches the floor before the tail. exhale. We've got 8 more to do. Go at your own pace. 2 more. One more. And as you hug the knees, just rock side to side. And let the legs lift and just shake the legs nice and loose. Let your head turn from side to side. Lift your arms up, just shaking loose and loose. Now, when we're born, most people generally, we have about 50% muscle fibers that are type 1, 50% muscle fibers type 2. Some people are genetically, they have a tendency for more endurance-based muscle fibers, like really good long-distance runners. They usually have a few more of those kind of endurance muscle fibers, type 1 muscle fibers. Somebody who is a great sprinter, or somebody that's got a lot of power tennis, or they will generally have a few more of the type 2 explosive muscle fibers. But remember, the truth is, after the age of 25, if they're not trained, these type 2 muscle fibers, they shrink. And so by the time we're 50, 60, they're just threads like strings. But the good news is we can thicken them out. We can get them back to somewhere near the level that the body would really love to have them at. Now, what we're going to do now, we're going to do something similar, but it's going to be a little more dynamic, because we're going to do it with one leg lifted. Okay, so arms down, lift one leg. We do the same exercise, so we quite quickly push up, roll down, hug both knees. Other leg. Inhale, roll the spine down, hug both knees, keep alternating. Again, we want to do 5 each side of row, about 10. And it's the explosiveness coming up. And the slow going down. Let's do one more. And let that go, please. And let's take big circles. Turn the head from side to side. Change direction. Tweak, so place your hands underneath your bottom, slide your bottom wide and down away from the lower back. Slide back of the skull away, ease your shoulders down away from the ears. Now, please listen very carefully. Place the back of one hand on the forehead as if you were, oh dear. And then slip the thumb of the other hand, so both palms are facing up. Now I'd like you to tuck the tail so your buttocks are not touching the floor, but the back of the waist is. So we're already activating the lower abdominals. Now what we're going to do is lift the head and the shoulder blades off the floor and do 10 2-inch pulses. And let that go. Lengthen out one leg, lengthen out the other leg. Let your feet fall open. Feel how the breath naturally fills you, every part of you. Once again, now this works because you are tucking the tail. You're already activating the lower abdominal muscles. They stay kind of pulling up. So your buttocks are not in contact with the floor. And I bring the hands on the back of the head again. So keep that tucking under and then lift up and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Rest. Let one leg lengthen, the other leg lengthen. Let your feet fall open. Please stand your feet again. Again, retweak, because we always have to keep retweaking. Now, again, tuck your tail under, arms down by your side. And what we're going to do is we're going to see if we can lean so that your right hand can touch the outer right foot and then lean to the left. And we're just going side to side, keeping tucked under. Go very slowly and smoothly. Use your breath. Oh, I don't think I can do any more. You might carry on. And when you've done enough, let that go. Oh, dear. Please roll over onto your belly. We've just got a couple of minutes left. So I didn't want this class to be too long because it's as you be aware so far, you know, I'm already kind of, you know, I can feel my body's really worked a lot. So bring your elbows underneath your shoulders. You're in Sphinx position. Turn the toes under. And then lift your knees off the floor. Not your pelvis, but lift your knees off the floor. And stay here because that would be enough. Thumbs pointing up or hover. And if you can do these little toe springs, and let that go. Oh, roll all the way over onto your back. Oh. And please lengthen out your legs, unless it's better for you to stand your feet on the floor. So make yourself very comfortable. And this is where all the firing that we've done in the last 40 minutes, all the firing of those type 2 fibers, we've been reigniting them, reacting those type 2 fibers. And as you lie down now, you know that 50% of your body is quicker, more steady, and more importantly, more confident. You don't ever have to worry about falling, because if we put in the work, it's not going to happen. We might trip, but we're not going to fall. If we put in the work, we're not going to fall. So I want you to have confidence, because confidence is something you get from this kind of practice. And your body already knows how to find this quick, steady, confident sense of self, where your type 2 fibers, 50% of your muscle fibers, are stronger, thicker, quicker, more responsive, and brighter. They're like sparks. So as you lie down, just imagine the feeling of your muscle fibers sparkling, pulsing, as you breathe. And just enjoy how the breath calms you. And you may not even notice how much stronger and how much more responsive and reactive these muscle fibers can become, until maybe later, when your body moves in more youthful ways. And maybe your hand is lightly resting on your tummy, and you're receiving the breath. Where does the breath? The breath loves to fill every part of you. It loves to fill every part of you. And the space around you on every inhalation becomes the space inside you. And as you breathe out, what's inside you becomes part of the space around you. There's a coming together of you and your immediate surroundings via the breath. It connects us. And what would it feel like if even right now, as you're lying down, you feel these lightning pulses, these sparks all around your body, these electrical pulses from what we've done this evening? And you might find that when you get off the mat, you might find that there's a little more, not just steadiness in your movements, but it's quick, responsive, brighter, more agile, because many people do. And I don't know if you'll notice it now, or you'll notice it later, or you'll notice it tomorrow. But there's definitely a brighter, more confident, quicker, steadier you. And one part of you already knows this. Otherwise, you wouldn't have turned up this evening. There's a part of you that knows how beneficial it is to do this work. And you may not even notice how much more confidence comes from a class like this. And let those electrical pulses quickly moving around your body right now, from the feet to the arms, to the spine, to the shoulders, to the chest, to the head. Just stand one foot on the floor, stand the other foot on the floor, and lift your back arm up and roll over like a log. and stay on that side for a moment in very effortlessness, coming up into a sitting position. And let those postural chains be active. So no longer am I letting an old person move into my body, or I'm not trying to fake it. Yeah, I'm just allowing my postural chains, which are firing right now, to become active. And it's just a question of letting them remember. So, Namaste Om Shanti. Thank you for being with me this evening. Loved you being here. Wouldn't be the same without you.